All right, we are here. It was a bloodbath today for Tate Frazier.
For America.
His national title team lost. I'm trying to get my microphone fixed.
Yeah,
here.
get it set up. Should we open up with that? I think that is the big story again.
There we go.
Titus and Tate, we are here live on the YouTube. Thank you everyone for watching. Subscribe. You can see us every night after all the action. But again, like you said, Titus, we had a very tough day at the office, as they say. And in fact, so tough that Rob Stone on Fox kicked us out of the studio.
We are not in our normal studio. The rationale being, they said that they had booked the studio, our normal studio, for us, thinking that Carolina and Ohio State would be playing today. And they were like, we were going to get all your reactions for your alma maters. And then the second they lost, they're like, yeah, we gave it to Rob Stone and Alexi Lawless.
Yeah.
They're in there calling CONCACAF
and to
stuff,
add
so.
insult to injury, Rob Stone let you know that he was a Carolina fan. He was like, if Carolina was playing, I'd be all about it. I'd be watching the games. Come on, Tar Heels.
So your Illinois,
Yes.
we'll go through this. So first of all, we should say there's still some time left for an Oklahoma State comeback. We have not given up on the Cowboys yet. They're down by 8.
It's not over.
Oregon State
66-58 currently
is mucking it up. This has been the theme of Oregon State. We talked about it last night. One of our guys watching us on YouTube asked us. He said, "Does Oregon State have a chance?" And I said, "Well, you know." The theme of Oregon State's run has been they've been playing great defense. Teams have not been making shots.
Mm-hmm. Specifically 3-pointers.
3-point shots.
Yes.
One thing that I noted was that Oklahoma State doesn't take a ton of threes, so maybe it's not going to be a problem. But then fast forward, here we go. Oklahoma State is breaking everything tonight. And, but it's not over. They just hit a 3.
It's not over
as I was talking. So,
and I like to see Oklahoma State pressing in this game, trapping in this game. This is a lost art in college basketball. The idea of let's speed the game up. We've had a lot of quote unquote inferior teams, the higher seeded teams get these upsets, and people ask, what is Illinois doing? Why don't they try to speed this game up? It's not happening in this tournament. We saw it with Rick Pitino. He was famous for the press, trying to make
the press
teams.
Is kind of dead in college in general.
We used to have Press Virginia, RIP.
I don't understand.
Bob Huggins loses today. You would think maybe he presses, tries to speed the game up.
Jay Wright always did this three-quarter court press where he'd fall back and. Cade just got a shot. There have been so many moments in this Oregon State and one. Oh no, so many moments in this Oregon State or Oklahoma State game, Tate, where it feels like Oklahoma State. We've convinced ourselves as a team of destiny. Cade Cunningham has said he was trying to emulate Carmelo Anthony in 2003.
I didn't like that was said, by the way.
I know.
I didn't say it at the time because I was like knocking on wood. Because at this point, we should say. We're at the phase where throw out the record books. You know what I mean? That's where we are.
Throw out the seeds.
Throw out the seeds. Throw out the regular season. Throw out what you think you know about these teams because you have to base it on what we've seen within the bubble, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times on paper, there's no way in a world that, in my opinion, going into it, there's certain games that are just like that just can't happen.
Yeah.
Oral Roberts can't beat Florida. They can't beat Ohio State.
They can't.
But given this tournament, given
these
circumstances, given this environment, it'll happen.
Well, what we thought Oklahoma State was a team that, if you are the team of destiny, there have been so many moments throughout this game, and there's still 4 minutes left. This is far from over. We're not pretending like it is over. I'm just saying, there have been so many moments that I thought the shot would go down. Like Cade Cunningham had a 3 not too long ago that rattled in and out, and I was like, that's the shot that needs to go.
Yes.
If you're going to be the team of destiny, and it didn't go. You have to make shots even if you are a team of destiny. There we go, making shots now. They cut it to 6. We're about to have the under 4 timeout here. Steal. Wow. Okay. Cade, this is a shot you have to make. He made it. Okay, now I'm buying in.
Yes,
now I'm buying in. That's the
now
timeout. Oregon
70
State.
to 67.
That's the shot right there. If you're the team of destiny, you have to hit.
Yes.
My dad used to say this all the time about John Diebler. He'd watch, like, we talk about the games. Every time Ohio State would lose, I
you would blame Diebler. You're like, Dad, I know.
We would blame Diebler. We would talk about it all the time. We'd be like, there are these moments in games where the momentum's swinging. You're going on a run, and you need the cap of the run. You need the cap off the run, Tate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
You're on a 12-0 run. The other team's about to call timeout. They accidentally didn't. You get a steal. Fast break, kick it out to Diebler in the corner. This is the shot you have to hit.
To stretch a 2-possession, 3-possession game, you know what I mean? Make it.
This is the shot you have to hit.
Yep.
The dagger,
There's no life left once this goes in.
John
it's RIP
Diebler on those
season.
shots, he was like 1 for 17 in his career.
Yeah.
I swear. So that
Diebler,
was that was
if you
that
want
was
to
a
argue
shot
against
Diebler
that,
misses.
come on the pod and we'll
Come
let
on
you
the
argue
show,
it out.
John, I know you're watching and bang on the
Always,
dash or wherever
always.
you're playing right now. Stupid idiot. While there's a timeout, let's talk about some of the other games other than Oregon State, Oklahoma State. Let's start with the game, the first game today.
Yes.
I don't know what the game of the day was necessarily.
I
Oral
do.
Roberts might be the story of the day, but let's go in order because the first game of the day was set the tone for what the day was. Loyola upsets, and I put upsets in quotes, Illinois, because this did not look like an upset at all. This looked like just the better team won from start to finish. I texted you. We did not watch this game together. We stayed home for the first game and then drove into the studio after. I texted you when it was 9-2, 9-4, and I said,
probably about 5-6
I said,
minutes
this one's
into the
over.
game. Yes,
because Krutwig was running circles around Coburn. Like right out of the gate, you could just tell like Coburn was just gonna. Coburn ended up playing well and put up decent numbers, but
offensively he played well.
Defensively, he was just
he's shuffling his feet right now at this very second. Krutwig turned into Nikola Jokic. For the Denver Nuggets in this game, basically was a one-man offense, a one-man defense, and like you said, they suffocated Illinois throughout this entire game. And from start to finish, they were the better team. And shout out to Kim Pom. I mean, the number one defense on Kim Pom.
we mocked this all year. This is add this to the list. We need a list of things we got wrong.
Yes.
I will say this: the haters have been coming on. It alternates days. The haters had a big day one, obviously,
yes. And we're still day one. We're on that side of the bracket, the South and the Midwest.
That's what I was going to say.
Where we're from.
Day two, we started to make a comeback. We started carving to the lead a little bit.
Yes. Pac-12 update.
And then day three was the Diebler shot, where it was like, let's really make this comeback, and we bricked it, man. We really bricked it today.
Yes.
Day three was a big time.
And
break.
Lady Jean was sitting up, waving at us, saying "Toodaloo" as we were saying goodbye. Adam Miller for Illinois after the game said, "Lady Jean got us."
Was it Adam Miller? I thought it was Trent Frazier. It was Adam Miller.
It was Adam Miller. Yes, he said,
Adam
"Lady
Miller
Jean
said,
got us," not sister meme, as I pointed out here, and just the fact that. I feel like the last time around, Sister Jean was actually getting more pub than now, which is good. I do think we've all been on the right side of history.
You looked me in the eye before you came on the air, and you swore to me. You swore to me.
Yes.
I'm not going to talk about Sister Jean.
I wanted to. If we weren't live, I wanted to bleep it out in post. I did not want to say her name. But Cameron Krutwig is the story.
Yeah.
Porter Moser is the story. The fact that Illinois and Brad Underwood did not try to deviate from the plan at all, it almost makes you wonder. Illinois already won a title in Indianapolis in the Big Ten tournament at Lucas Oil Stadium. They've already been there. They've already been to the mountaintop. They had no time to celebrate. They had no time off. And then they stay in the bubble and continue.
This is a great point.
And maybe at some point they're like, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go
great
celebrate.
Point. I brought this up in jest, but also it was one of those deals. I'm really good at these takes where like.
And look, I'm obviously upset. Illinois is my national championship team. So.
Anderson had a fast break. He missed the layup, but so I brought this up. I'm really good at the takes where like if you want to take it seriously, then yes, I'm definitely serious.
Yes.
But if you don't want to take it seriously, it was just a joke, dude.
Yes, it's called heightened realities.
Yeah,
catch up.
So I offered this take. What if the Big Ten has been so bad in this tournament because. They've been in Indy longer. And I'm not saying they're throwing the games. I'm not saying they're like, I want out of here. Let's lose on purpose.
Say what you said to me earlier. What is this? This is a war of what?
It's a war of attrition.
Yes.
And
similar to the Mickey Mouse bubble that we saw down in Orlando.
They've been there for a week. They're eating this buffet food, like the banquet food that like the hotel that you're staying in. They're like making it in some
Chick-fil-A, as Jason Preston told
Jason
us.
Preston. I guess maybe they are.
We got the scoop.
But like, remember when they first got there, they were taking pictures, and then Rothstein like tried to just tell everybody like, don't complain about anything. Rothstein got the memo.
Delete your account.
Rothstein got the memo from the NCAA. That was like, John, if you could just go ahead and tell all the kids to shut up. And he was like, done.
He's like, got it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the update.
Kids.
What kids?
Eat your rubbery chicken and shut the hell up. No, but what if the Big Ten teams have been in Indy for so long?
It's too much.
It's too much. But the Illinois point, as you said earlier, they won the title, the Big Ten title. Usually, and I can say this from experience, because those of you that are tuning in, you're new to the show, you might not know this. I won 2 Big Ten tournament titles, two regular season Big Ten titles as well. So it gets a little confusing when I talk about my 2 Big Ten titles, because you're talking regular season, but I'm talking tournament this time, and one. So. when we win, when you usually win a Big Ten tournament title, Tate, it always happens on Selection Sunday. You find out your seed, you go back home to campus, and then you kind of take like a day or two to like
be a star,
to
be a celebrity. Yeah. Big man on campus, as they say. Yes.
Yeah. And I wasn't necessarily a star, but I wore my gear and I'd walk around campus and hope someone noticed me, and it never really happened. But like I felt like it on the inside.
You see your friends, they're like, Titus, why are you in full uniform? You're like, I'm just letting people know I'm a champion.
As I was putting my stuff on in the morning, I felt good about it. And the point is, Illinois didn't get to enjoy
any of that.
None
of it.
So they win a title.
They went back to their
bottles
rooms by themselves to watch Netflix.
Exactly. They win the title. They're pointing to the fans. Yeah. The fans are going crazy. They're on the internet, and like everyone's going nuts, and like we're going all the way. And then they have to go back, as you said, to the hotel, and they're like, "This is stupid. I want to go back to Champaign." And
Bashanas sitting in his room, and he's like, "I want to just like sing these Eastern European rap songs with like a bunch of people around me having a great time." Instead, I'm sitting here by myself. And on the other hand, Sister
Again, I
Jean's team,
I say it as a joke, but at the same time, there's
credence to some of it.
There's credence. There's
you
like
can
a small
you can
sliver.
find crumb of credence.
There's a crumb of credence.
Maybe that's what we call it a segment. A crumb of credence. You can find your crumb. But
I like this tweet from Sean Yu, by the way, our former colleague at
what up,
TheRinger.com. If Sister Jean wanted to, she could pray for world peace, but she uses her
I
powers.
I did not want to
instead.
bring this up. I did not want to bring this up.
Okay.
Look.
I like that.
Look,
that was good. That was a good tweet.
Man from the Bible Belt. You can't use prayer for basketball. Like those are the rules. I mean, you can obviously say, please God, let this happen. You can pray to the basketball gods, but you can't do this. And Sister Meme, at it again.
She was dropping analytics in her prayers.
Yeah, she was like,
we have the number one Ken Pom defense.
we don't need help on defense. Like,
do you think she was praying to Ken Pom? She was like,
hashtag not my God.
Lord,
what is happening?
Lord Ken Pom, please bless us on this day.
I don't understand.
With the number 1D adjusted deficiency.
Regardless, Loyola, the basketball team, Cameron Krutwig single-handedly won this game. And it was textbook. It was a clinic. The play to me of the game, a lob should have been in out of bounds. He just, beautiful feathery touchback for the easy lay in for the assist.
How many beers does Krutwig drink / cigarettes?
Good question, Ben. Krutwig is a throwback. We've been trying to find someone like this in basketball for quite some time.
I want him. I want him to play in the NBA. I don't think it's going to happen. I think
I think today ceiling, he gets a workout.
I think his ceiling is good enough to get minutes in the league at some point. I think his ceiling is NBA caliber, like his skill set and how big he is. His floor is not, obviously. Like, his floor is when he's at his worst, it's like, we can't throw this guy.
But touch is a hell of a thing, right?
Yeah.
And the man has touch, the man has balance, the man has obvious basketball IQ. And the fact that he was making Coffee Coburn has been the best big in the country, in my opinion, in the past 2 months.
We felt like he's been the best player on Illinois. That Io gets all the headlines, but
he looked like the Coburn of old. You know what I mean? The one that looked like he was lost at times, and that was all Krutwig. So
Kofi didn't do his soccer drills and juggling tennis balls.
He juggled maybe too much. And Curbelo, the same thing. Curbelo, also a soccer guy, was able to keep it light and loose. Not this time.
This is getting away from Oklahoma State, dude. I just looked up and Cade.
They lost the race of 60.
Just running
we
throwing
knew,
up.
We saw this.
This is Muck City, dude.
Yeah, this is we should say this. I have learned a lot from the tournament in the sense that, like I said, throw the record books out. And now I look at the tournament by what we've seen so far. And what we've seen so far leads me to believe teams like UCLA, teams like Maryland, teams like Loyola, teams that can defensively muck it up, be physical.
And that's not just, I mean, because people take us way too seriously, and at this point in time, like if you're still taking us seriously, that's kind of on you. But people are going to take us seriously, so I'll have a disclaimer that like Maryland are traditional muckers. They're like they are
the OG muckers.
They are the OG muckers of this tournament. Loyola they do play beautiful offense.
Yes,
they do. But so when you say muck it up, I think Loyola fans are like, now hang on a second, are you saying like we're not good?
I'm talking
we're
defensively.
Saying you're good.
I'm talking about defensively.
You're just saying like a defensive minded, slow it down,
muck it up, change the pace, set the tone, make Illinois uncomfortable. And Illinois was so uncomfortable that they were trying to basically say, I'm not mad, I'm just laughing right now. This is funny to me.
Illinois was so bad offensively that you got Doug Gottlieb to show your possessions. He filmed your possessions on TV and tried to break it down
about what's going wrong.
About what's going wrong. That's how bad it was.
You got
Coach Gottlieb.
It was a bad day for Brad Underwood, I will say. And I know that Porter Moser and obviously Loyola deserves a lot of credit. The pick and roll defense that they had against Coffee and Curbelo. And I mean, it honestly, I feel like NBA teams will look at that and say like, this is really cool.
My fear with Curbelo Curbelo kind of came true, and I want to choose my words carefully because I'm not killing the kid. I'm not saying
he's a freshman.
I'm not saying like this is a character flaw or whatever, but he does have like a sense of like a little bit of a front runner. I take that word back. I apologize. He has a sense. I'll say this: Curbelo knows how to be good when he's good. He doesn't know how to be good yet when he's not good.
Yeah, Today it was
not good, and he was like, damn it, this isn't how it's supposed to go. I want to stir it up. Coach, when can we stir it? When can we stir it? And he's like, not today. Shout
out to Trent Frazier, my guy. Said his farewell. Obviously, 4 years. Thank the Fighting Illini. I thought that this was a team of destiny after the Big Ten tournament. I thought this was a 05 repeat plus the title in hand. But Sister Meme had different ideas, and Cameron Krutwig executed that idea, and he slayed. I called him the mellow yellow king. If you've seen True Detective, he is the yellow king.
There's the Trent Frazier.
Yeah, shout out Trent Frazier.
Yeah, shout out. Best 4 years
the
of my
Frazier
life.
fam.
I love being a part of this program. That is tough, man. The seniors,
and he handled it with grace and class, and then also Adam Miller handled it with hilarity and comedy, as you and I enjoy, by saying, "Man, Lady Jean got us today."
You can tell which guy's the freshman and which guy's the senior.
Exactly. It's called range, and I like it.
So that's what made you fall in love with this team.
I love this team. I
still
still love this team.
That's why you got a big red X right in the middle of your. No, as bad as my bracket is, my champion. For all the takes that I've gotten wrong in this tournament, I had two very strong takes all season because we've had the haters have come out and they've said you guys are idiots.
Yes.
First of all, it's in the description of the show.
Again.
welcome. Secondly. The only two things I've really believed in all year, I've had a lot of takes. I've fluctuated. As I said, with Texas, I was buying the stock when it was high. I was selling it when it was low.
It's college basketball. It fluctuates.
I could never time my Texas stock buying correctly. I messed up a lot of stuff, but the two things I felt most passionately about all year is that Gonzaga is better than everybody by a lot. That's not to say that they're going to win the title, but I think if Gonzaga doesn't make the Final Four, shove it in my face.
Yes.
I think Gonzaga is going to make the Final Four very easily. I believe in that strongly. The other thing I believed in strongly all year was that the Houston Cougars are frauds. And I was so excited about being able to celebrate that one. And then Rutgers choked it down the stretch, and that was brutal because then it was like a double brutal thing where it was like the Rutgers choke not only made me not validate my Houston is a fraud thing, but it also added on to the Big Ten sucking. And it was just a double blow, and I was like, man, the South and the Midwest regions hate me. They hate me. This day hates me.
Same.
The alternating days. Tomorrow I feel good about. Tomorrow I think we might be back. But, oh, my God, these groups of teams, the right side of the bracket, get the hell out of my face.
Which brings us to
I'm done with you.
Oral Roberts.
This one's over, by the way. Oregon State, 11 points.
It's a wrap. Cade Cunningham, team of destiny, is no longer.
We are a curse. We gotta acknowledge
we should say that.
We had Mike Boynton on the show.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where don't come on our show.
Selection Sunday, let's go through who we had on the show. We had
let's not. I mean, all right, Coach Holtman.
Dude, you got to face it head on.
Yeah, I am now, Coach Holtman.
If we own it, then the haters can't own it.
You're right.
They can't throw it in our face. We got to own it. All right.
Okay, I'm here.
We had Coach Holtman.
I'm blaming Mickey though. I'm telling you that. At the end of the day, all right, keep going. Coach Holtman.
Coach Holtman came on the show.
Yes.
Coach Painter
out.
Matt Painter comes on the show.
Okay.
Who else did we have? Josh Pastner.
Josh Pastner out, but Moses Wright also out. So so those are two that we took out. I still blame Sister Jean for that, but I'll take those.
Kyle Guy came on the show. His team's out.
The reason why Jeff Bull's team is not out because he played Kyle Guy. Kyle Guy's guy was CJ Walker, who was obviously on your team. So he's out. That's another guy. We got about 8 people that we just knocked out.
We had Luka Garza. So
Iowa, goodbye.
Iowa fans,
Oregon will win that
Iowa
game.
fans,
just get ahead of that. If you're betting tomorrow, take Oregon.
We had Jason Preston on last night.
Yep.
And we had Mike Boynton.
Yep.
So
Creighton's winning that game too.
Thoughts and prayers to Iowa and Ohio tomorrow because history says this is not going to go well for you guys.
I do have to bring this up because cousin Sal, friend of the program, obviously does stuff at Fox. We have a survivor pool that he does, and last night he reaches out to me. He's like, "We need 5 picks for tomorrow."
Yep.
I looked at the slate, Titus, and I said, "What do I think is going to happen?" Literally, if I looked at it at the end of the regular season, you give me these matchups. What is going to happen based on what I know? And then I made my pick. And then I looked at it, and then I said, based on what I've seen in this tournament, what is going to happen? And then I made my pick, which is basically the opposite.
The opposite.
Of
you
what I
faded
saw.
Yourself,
I faded myself, and I went
say.
5 for 5 today. So I will say that the opposite theory is in full effect. I feel very good about it. I don't want to jump to conclusions.
How many
but I feel
layers
good.
are you going to build though? Because like tomorrow you're going to say
No, tomorrow's a
tomorrow's
fine
gut
day.
reaction.
Yeah, yes.
Tomorrow's normal.
Tomorrow I'm right.
The right side of the bracket's
Yes.
the
You know
crazy
this.
one.
My stance in March is right logic, wrong pick. Whenever you're wrong, I have
Yeah.
had the right logic. I have had the wrong picks. But on the opposite days, when we look at the West and the East, I have had the right logic and mostly right picks. The other side, not so much.
You know, the haters come at you for everything you get wrong. No one's
Yes.
talking about what I have right left.
Yeah.
Which Oklahoma State, now that I look at it, never mind. I had Oklahoma State in the Final Four. This is bad. This is so bad. Gonzaga's going to win. This is
you
all
need Gonzaga
This
to
is
win.
all just
Yeah.
like fun and games to hand Gonzaga a trophy. But Baylor says not so fast. We should talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
The Baylor Bears are back.
You mentioned what our takes were. My stance this year until the Big Ten came in and took my ACC heart and blinded me with their BS, with their Big Ten stats of the day all in my face. There was a belief that we had that there was one tier, which is Gonzaga, its own tier, and then there was a 1B tier. And the B stood for Baylor. And I think as long as it's Gonzaga Baylor and they're able to at least create some sort of sense of normalcy. Like if we get to a title game and it's Baylor Gonzaga, I think those are probably the two best teams in the country.
We're back. We're
and
back.
I'm okay.
It's not
I'm
Mickey,
okay
you're
with
taking
that.
Mickey Mouse away.
I am erasing blame Mickey. And in fact, that's not Mickey Mouse. That's Mick Cronin for knocking out Mr. March.
Explain to the people what Mickey Mouse tournament means, because
It is my favorite like stupid thing that the internet has come up with
from the NBA bubble.
From the
right?
NBA bubble, obviously LeBron James wins the war of attrition, wins his 4th championship. I am a Michael Jordan stan, as the internet would probably define me. So like, therefore, you love to see things poked hole. Like Ray Allen hitting the shot. You know what I mean? Like they go through the whole thing.
I just like
but
the
knock
phrase
is Mickey Mouse. Right?
I just like the phrase Mickey Mouse.
And it's perfect.
Mickey Mouse tournament.
It's what I said to you as soon as North Carolina lost, and it was more in jest.
What's funny? The reason I had you explain what it was is because as more time goes by, more people are trying to get on board. They're like, I don't know what that means, but I believe in it.
Where are the Blue Bloods? The Blue Bloods. If you want to join this whole movement, this Mickey Mouse tournament movement. The Carolina fans are here. The Duke fans are here. The Kentucky fans are here. The Kansas fans, as soon as they're out, come aboard.
That's what I'm saying.
UCLA, you ride that wave.
All of the fans whose teams are still in are like, sore losers, get over
exactly.
it. Loser, and then Oklahoma State
Illinois.
fans. Oklahoma State fans are now like, all right.
Illinois, you know what it is.
Mickey Mouse tournament.
Yeah.
I'm on board. Oregon State, officially it's over now, by the way. 10-point win for winning
Pac-12,
boys.
man.
Tinkle and Hinkle magic. Look at this. Look at Bill Walton right here. In a world of busted brackets, a hero will rise. Bill Walton's out in the desert, just like standing next to panels.
I mean, it is funny because Dave Pash and Bill Walton do this bit pretty much every tournament, and it usually is Dave Pash dunking on Bill Walton's ridiculous Pac-12 picks.
And he's on fire.
And he's on fire right now, which points to Mickey Mouse tournament. You know what I mean? If you want to know what this looks like, in fact, like look at some of the like.
It's such a fun phrase, dude. If you don't like what's happening, you're just like Mickey Mouse tournament. And you throw your bracket on.
Literally, and you move on, on.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Baylor's looking good though. Baylor's. I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna go down with the ship, man. I think it's Gonzaga versus the field. I don't think that means Gonzaga is 100% locked to win the title, but I still think Gonzaga, until I see some cracks in the dam for Gonzaga, I'm gonna keep believing in them. But Baylor, I have my eye on Baylor. Like the Baylor
Gonzaga, Ohio is the game. I feel like that is like a scary game just because of the Cinderella aspect. What do you think about that also? The fact that we had people in the stands chanting Cinderella. That was a report today when Oral Roberts won. Oral Roberts, 15 seed.
There are a lot more fans at the games than I expected, or at least like when they show them on TV.
And they're making an impact because Eric Musselman, he wins the game and he's going crazy.
Jumps on the table.
With the Arkansas
Let's
fans.
be honest though. We saw Eric Musselman at this time last year. Eric Musselman was shooting videos in his.
I thought you were talking about he ripped his shirt off.
No.
Time,
This time last year there was no tournament, so he didn't do that.
That's right. When he did the practice. That's right.
I was saying he did a practice in an empty practice gym where he was just yelling out instructions to nobody. So my point is, Tate, I don't think the fans being there is what made Eric Musselman jump on the table and celebrate. I think that would have happened if there was nobody in the gym. I think he still would have been pointing to his wife, even though she wouldn't be there. I think he would have still done that. But based on the TV, the shot, maybe they're just like zooming in on the small groups of people that are there. But it feels like there are a decent amount of people there. I don't
Yeah.
know how much it's swinging the game, but you can feel the love between the players.
The
and the fans
Oral
at least.
Roberts fans, they felt like they were making the difference today because Oral Roberts, I mean, they were down pretty much the entire game against Florida. They lost the race to 69. This is the first upset against the race to 69 entire tournament. And then Florida, you know what I mean? You saw them have the Ohio State moment of like, is this really happening?
This dude just did this?
Yeah, did this dude just did this? Max Aismith, like what?
Did Kevin O'Ben? Did this dude just did this?
Yeah, and that is literally what Oral Roberts represents, in a nutshell.
Well,
and they move on, and it's history. Second time in 15 seasons.
Let's talk about Oral Roberts a little bit because the $1 million question coming out of Columbus, Ohio, and by Columbus, Ohio, I mean this seat right here in Los Angeles, California, that represents Columbus, Ohio, is. Are the Ohio State Buckeyes officially off the hook now?
Yes.
Is this no longer a situation of Ohio State choking and has now become just an Oral Roberts Cinderella run? I say yes.
I think that
my unbiased opinion, yes. I say flush it down. Charles Barkley already did. He was like, who did they play in the first game? When he was talking about Oral Roberts, he's like, I don't even remember who they played in the first game. I was like, Chuck, I love you. Thank you for that.
And not only did he say that, he broke the mug in front of him because he was so shook because the look that he got from Ernie was like, are you kidding me, Chuck? Am I going to have to kick you off set? This is one of the biggest upsets of the tournament. And then he's like, oh, that's right, Ohio State. But it did show that, look, if Chuck forgot, probably the general audience in America forgot, Ohio State's off the hook. It is not a Mickey Mouse tournament for Ohio State. Or Roberts just went on the Cinderella run. There you go.
The first 15 seed to make the Sweet 16
Dunk
since
City.
Dunk City in 2013, as Stuart Mandel points out. The Dunk City was the first team to ever do it, right?
Yes, ever.
That was the first. So this is only the second time it's ever happened that a 15 has won two
They said
games.
on the broadcast that it was the first time that Oral Roberts had made the Sweet 16, but they were wrong. They had made the Elite Eight before.
Yeah.
They said it on the broadcast. It tripped me up because I was like, really? And then I obviously I fact checked it after the fact and wrong.
The Oral Roberts, O'Banner and Naismith they're quickly becoming like it's a two-man show, and it's insane how it's working. They played no defense throughout the year, and then suddenly now they're guarding people enough to let it's basically a team all season. It was a team that played zero defense, and then they play zero defense, and then they go to Asmus and O'Banner, and they let those guys do everything on offense.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's happening. They're playing enough defense now to win the games. It's insane. It feels like they're an NBA Jam team. That was the point I'm working towards.
Yes.
Is that they're just like they are NBA
right
Jam.
now, if we had a college basketball jam of this tournament, that would be the duo that we pick. Yes.
I'm playing with them. Yeah. And they are a ton of fun. So you're saying Ohio State is off the hook?
I think they're off the hook. I will say, just looking at Oral Roberts, too, in general, they're just a fun team. They look like they're not afraid to lose the game. Like, even to this game, Florida, to me, I was like, it's over. Oral Roberts is one of my 5 picks for the day. So I'm like, fingers crossed, knocking on wood, trying to pray trying to Sister Jean this in existence. We also have you watching it live. Can we toss to that? Yeah, here we go.
If Oral Roberts wins this, then Ohio State's off the hook, right? Is that how it works? Yeah. It's no longer about Ohio State choking. It's about, like, Oral Roberts. It's a Cinderella story. And everyone forgets that we choked, and they just remember that Oral Roberts is awesome. Yes, get in there. Oh!
Oh, got the rebound. He's got time.
That's it. That's it. It's it. They did it. We're off the hook. Listen, man. Let the record show that I'm not bitter about Oral Roberts being in Ohio State. You got footage right there. I was happy. Oral Roberts won tonight. I was cheering. Like, I wasn't crossing my arms saying I hate these guys. They ruined my. I was like, good for you guys.
Yeah,
and that's mature. Honestly, that's kind of mature.
Yeah,
I'll say it.
Well, on the flip side of that, I watched Brad Davison brick every shot he put up, and I'm like, I hate you. Please get out of my face. Get out of this Mickey Mouse tournament, Wisconsin.
Brad, come on the show.
Oh my goodness, what was that? What was that?
Brad was.
What was that?
We knew it was going to happen.
I knew it
was going to happen.
Yeah, just do it the first game and get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, don't waste our time.
We had 29 points against Carolina.
29-6. Show the epic. Oh, it drove me crazy.
What else went on today? Syracuse beats West Virginia.
Buddy Boeheim.
A little bit of a surprise, but
what
not really.
What did I say on our last
right.
show? What did I say? Buddy Boeheim. This is the Boeheim tour, the Drew family tour. Sweet 16.
I know, Buddy went nuts. We had a stretch there where Sean McNeil and Buddy Boeheim were just going toe to toe, and I was like, "What is this? How did we get here?"
Yes.
Bob Huggins and Jim Boeheim are turning
just
into
two gunners.
to
yeah.
Buddy Boeheim and Sean McNeil, and
Yep.
like this is how we're gonna settle this to see who goes to the Sweet 16. Syracuse is an 11 seed, so it seems surprising when I say that an 11 seed has made the Sweet 16. But when I tell you that 11 seed is Syracuse,
You
it
say it makes
somehow
sense.
is like,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes total sense.
Yep.
In fact, the other two times that Syracuse has been a double-digit seed, they've made the Sweet 16. This is something they've done now. They're 3 for 3 on making the second week, and it's double-digit.
Which it begs the point. It begs the question, I should say. Is Jim Boeheim sandbagging?
I think so.
And if he is, it makes a lot of sense because you get better draws this way. And then when you face a team like West Virginia, a team that, I mean, there was a time in the season, maybe January, I looked at you and I said, this is a Final Four team for Bob Huggins. And the fact that you face a team like Syracuse who's playing the best Carolina played Syracuse. I watched Syracuse in the ACC. This is a totally different basketball team, as we've come to expect. You know what I mean? Malachi Richardson, Tyler Lydon have done this before. And then, look, we got a great
Buddy
question here.
Boeheim closer to Kimba or Jimmer for him?
Jimmer, for sure.
I think so.
It's Jimmer. I mean, not to profile it, but I mean, it's definitely Jimmer. Like, I mean,
but also at the same time, like, if the only way you're really doing anything is just like bombing threes. He hit 6 threes today.
I mean, and
that's a Jimmer thing.
And there's a day where there's going to be a game, most likely, where it's like he's 3 for 14.
I just want to point this out because what a visual that was. We got all these TVs up here. I shouldn't say this. This is mean, but. We got all the TV set up, and one of them, the top left, is on TNT. They're showing Star Wars, and like Jabba the Hutt or whatever.
Luke, get out of there.
Luke's like Jabba the Hutt is
getting Luke,
that
right?
Jabba? I'm not. My Star Wars knowledge is lacking. But they just
we're getting guesses.
They had a tight shot on Jabba with a tight shot of Charles right next to each other, and I don't know. It just made me laugh. It just made me laugh to see Charles.
And now we have Seth Davis, Clark Kellogg dancing and TikToking. What is that? What is happening? Why is Wally Zerbiak dancing? What is this? What is this? I'm not even kidding. This is a Mickey Mouse tournament. Dude, that's what it looks like. This is literally.
I swear to God,
this is Mickey Mouse's Playhouse. What is that?
By the way, Wally Zerbiak, I swear to God, he heard me last night getting on him about his match.
Dude, the shoulder pads came out harder.
Dude, he looks like a cartoon villain.
Yes,
this guy.
Yes.
This guy is like.
Wally Zerbiak, he heard the feedback and he said, "Let's do more.
Let's do more."
He's
got a black suit with white pinstripes, a polka dot tie. What with stripes?
And someone did point out
big old shoulder.
He works with Clyde Frazier, by the He does New York Knicks games. So
true.
people did point out that there's a chance Sam Taylor.
Look at this.
Yes. Wally Zerbiak would be great in Justice League. You know what I mean? Like if there was a Snyder cut with Wally Zerbiak as the evil guy, that would be worth watching.
He looks like Inspector Gadget is like fighting this guy.
Dude.
Like that's the guy he's fighting.
Straight up. It does feel like a weapon's gonna come out of his shoulder pad.
It's like Shredder, dude.
Bring him on the show. Come on, Wally.
He's on set with Clark Kellogg. Clark Kellogg is a large man.
He has big shoulders.
Clark Kellogg was a professional basketball player for a very long time.
6'8", 6'9", yeah.
He is a massive human being.
Yeah.
I've met him many times. I can attest to the size of Clark Kellogg.
Yes.
And Wally Zerbiak, who is also a professional basketball player, whatever, he makes Clark Kellogg look tiny because he's got these shoulder. I mean, I don't know, whatever. We're belaboring the point. Let's move on. Sorry, I got distracted. It was just a funny visual seeing. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
It's still going. It's still going. We got another tweet. Nicole Auerbach, points out one of the following schools, which is get ready to throw up in your mouth. Loyola, Oregon State, Syracuse, Houston will make the Final Four.
Yeah, I like playing this game too, where you look at the bracket and you're like, oh my God,
it does feel like Syracuse.
Baylor, Villanova. You could do the whole right side of the bracket. Like it seems crazy. Villanova would be the one that's not crazy, given that they've won 2 titles. But this Villanova team.
Can I jump in here?
Go ahead.
Villanova, we should say. When they lost Colin Gillespie, there was an understood idea that they lost their leader of their team.
Yeah.
And we say to ourselves, when you lose your leader and then lose to Georgetown, okay, season's probably goodbye. But what we didn't understand and what we may have underestimated was they have another Arcidiacono.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to say you have the next Arcidiacono, but now we have little Arcidiacono. He's settling things down.
He scored literally 0 points in this entire season before he started in the Georgetown game.
And he had 6 today.
Yeah.
And he's making his presence felt. And in general, they have Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, we know, is an All-American type player. It makes sense. But Villanova, I've somehow underestimated because I got too caught up with Winthrop. And I have to admit this. Villanova playing Baylor, they played in 2019. Baylor won that game. A lot of similar players on the floor. To me, I am not going to underestimate or undervalue Villanova anymore because Jay Wright's in a good spot, and this is upset city.
I mean, if you were trying to pump the brakes, you'd say you.
I just want to say I feel like I did not give my due to Villanova, so maybe I'll just point out, hey, watch out for Jay Wright. They are obviously champions. They obviously have an Archie Diacono back. So,
but I was going to point out, I was going to
there.
give the flip side to that, which is that you beat a 12 seed and a 13 seed. Like, let's not throw a parade yet and hang a banner that we've. Really,
they are. No, I'm kidding.
No,
they won national championship. I'm just saying, I have not given them their due.
No one was doubting Villanova as a program. No one was doubting Jay Wright.
We were doubting the loss of Gillespie, a leader, and the fact that you don't have a go-to guard.
Show me a single Villanova fan out there that when your point guard, your All-American caliber point guard goes down, you're like, actually, I think this is good. I think we're going to.
The reason that I was so sure about Winthrop is that I had a Villanova person very close to the program text me and say, Winthrop's going to kill us.
Yeah.
And I quote.
Yeah.
So, not crazy.
As Mr. KJ444 points
Yes.
out, Jay Wright versus Scott Drew in the Sweet 16. What's interesting about this is a big coaching narrative game. Whoever loses this is a fraud. And Jay Wright, I know you won 2 titles, but now you're going back to
you're
losing.
Tony Bennett.
Yeah,
Tony Bennett is currently a fraud.
This is ridiculous, and I know we're part of the problem. But the coach. If you win, the fact that Tony Bennett loses in the first round, now all of a sudden he's a fraud, and I don't know. I mean, sometimes it makes sense, but other times it doesn't as much, and it is hilarious how one game changes everything about how you think. One shot changes whether, you know what I mean? Like if Jordan Poole doesn't hit the shot to beat Kelvin Sampson, maybe we're talking about him. Maybe I don't think Houston's fraud, honestly. Maybe because I'm like, their coach, they've been there before, and I buy into Houston, but Jordan Poole hit one shot, and I'm like,
the perfect example in my mind, 2016, Chris Jenkins hits the shot. We all remember this. Villanova, Jay Wright gets over the hump. He's finally coronated as that guy. Villanova gets labeled as a blue blood. The next year, they lose to Wisconsin in the second round. Nigel Hayes does the slowest baseline spin move, MJ impersonation you've ever seen, as is Wisconsin basketball. They win the game. They upset Villanova. The haters come back out, just like they're doing with Tony Bennett. They say, that's the 2015 Jay Wright we saw when they lost to Dylan Ennis and those guys. Or they lost to NC State.
Anybody can win one.
Dylan Ennis was there.
Kevin Ollie won one.
Yes, exactly.
Bill Self won one.
Next year they win the title. And and all of a sudden Jay Wright is the best basketball coach by far. Right. Regardless, there's ebbs and flows, ups and downs.
And NBA teams came calling, and he obviously took those NBA jobs because everyone knows an NBA job is much better than a college job. So anyone in their right mind will take the NBA job. And that's what Jay Wright did. Now he's coaching the NBA, as we know.
He said if I could be a mass hole who could cut off people in traffic and get Dunkin' Donuts, I would have come to the NBA.
Another example of coaching narratives that are funny to look back on now is this idea that people are talking about Jim Boeheim, and as you mentioned earlier, it's almost like he sandbags it, and once he gets to the tournament, that's when he turns it on because
this is a totally different team.
No, for 1,000 years, the Syracuse narrative was Jim Boeheim schedules garbage teams in the non-conference. He wins just enough in the Big East to have 25 wins going into the tournament, and then he chokes in March. And that was what Jim Boeheim was to a lot of people.
Until Carmelo.
And now all of a sudden it's the exact opposite, where it's like Syracuse sucks all season, but all they got to do is get into the tournament, and then they can go on a run. And
Jim Boeheim, I feel like he had a speech with his team, and he said, and they were like, "What do we have to do, Coach, to be a success?" And he said, "Endure." He said, "Endure the season." And then we're going to get to the tournament, and then we're going to actually play. And Buddy Boeheim is playing free. He's having a lot of fun. It was good to see. As an ACC guy myself, I can't believe I'm pulling for Syracuse like this, but I was today.
Yeah,
I was pulling for Buddy Boeheim.
There's a moment where you're an ACC guy, so you're cheering for Syracuse,
yes,
and I'm a Big Ten guy cheering for Rutgers.
Who are we?
What happened?
Yes. This is conference realignment. Give us Maryland back.
Yeah. Speaking of Rutgers, let's talk about that a little bit. Rutgers kind of choked this away, did they not? Up 10 with 10 minutes to go. I feel for Geo Baker, who just inexplicably lost the ball. I know, it's always tough because you do have to point it out. That's what kind of lost the game-ish.
Ron Harper Jr. had a three.
That one play isn't what lost the game. It was like a whole sequence of they were basically playing like prevent offense, if such a thing. They were trying to run the clock out on the game. And it was tough to watch. It was because this meant so much to Rutgers, as we know. It means a lot to Houston, though. We should say, as much as I like calling them frauds, Houston has suffered some heartbreaking losses in the tournament.
And Houston's a sleeping giant as a program.
I have nothing against Houston.
Yeah.
I just think they're frauds.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's not
nothing against them.
them. Nothing personal. It's just business.
Yeah.
And a business.
And for me, we remember. I mean, Swaggy Poole, Jordan Poole hit the shot against Houston. That was devastating. I actually really liked that Houston team that year. Duncan Robinson, our guy. That Michigan team ends up going to the Final Four. But, you know, the fact that Houston is able to get to a Sweet 16, the fact that Sampson can point to the Sweet 16 and say, "Hey, we're back. Houston basketball is rolling." That was good to see. I'm happy with that. It could be a lot worse, teams. Looking at how this tournament's going.
0 free throws in the second half for Rutgers.
That's something.
Whose fault is that? Where are we pointing the finger there? We blaming Rutgers? We blaming the refs? I don't know.
I think we're blaming everybody.
I'm just
I think
stating facts.
all the above. All the above.
I think the final game. I mean, we've kind of hit on all of them. We haven't talked much about this Texas Tech Arkansas game because that was certainly one that came down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Beard opts to not call a timeout. He had a timeout left. He lets his guys figure it out. Kyler Edwards eventually gets a left-handed layup, a kind of a good look, but at the same time,
we thought that there was a block, but it was
we felt like Justin Smith blocked it, but I saw a replay from a different angle. He didn't. Kyler Edwards just thought he was about to get by. I don't know. He just kind of threw it too hard off the glass. A decent look. So where do you land on should a timeout have been called? Because we're seeing this more and more from coaches, and if I'm a critic of coaches, which I'm not, as a coach myself, I would never, you know.
Pasternak is the big one.
Yeah, Pasternak did it.
He did it twice.
UCSB. Roy's been doing it for years.
Roy and Dean
Juwan Howard in the Big Ten tournament doesn't call
Smith,
timeout.
Calipari, who stole it from Dean Smith. I mean, the idea is basically they can't set a defense, so we're going to take numbers and we're going to let our guy go.
But I was going to say
it works with Ty Lawson, it works with Marcus Page, it works with Joel Berry. It does not work with Caleb Love. It does not work with Leaky Black.
It doesn't work with Kyler Edwards. Apparently.
Yes,
but I was going to say to be devil's advocate. Because I understand that point of view is like, don't call timeout. Trust your players.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't let the defense get set.
That's the whole point. We
what if the train of thought is actually what's really going on in there is like, I have no idea what to call.
And that
if I call timeout, I got to draw up a play.
That's the Ted Lasso version of it. You know what I mean?
Like, I don't know what I'm
His
doing.
team's looking at it like, call timeout. He's like, what? What?
That's what I do as a coach. I'd be like, and then I go to the press conference and be like, listen, man, I trust my guys.
Yeah. I just have
That's
to
how
wrap it up, box.
Juwan Howard could do literally anything on earth.
Yeah.
And he goes to the post-game press conference. He's like, "I'm always gonna stick up for my guys. I love my guys."
Yeah. And everyone's like,
"Dude,
that's our coach."
How would you not want to play for this guy?"
Yeah. Best coach in the country by far.
Is that it? Yeah, what else
I was
going to say
this was the showdown of coaches. There was a lot of commentary, I guess would be the best word, going into this game. Chris Beard is revered as one of the top coaches in college basketball, taking that Texas Tech team to the 2019 title game.
Yep.
Eric Musselman, is a coach of the program. We love the Must Bus. Apparently thought he was being disrespected.
Here's a Big Ten stat of the day from John Rothstein.
Okay.
Eric Musselman has taken 2 programs to the Sweet 16 in the last 3 NCAA tournaments. It's like, John, how many coaches have coached 2 programs in the last 3 NCAA?
Yeah, that was a John Rothstein stat of the day. But also, give your respect to Eric
Great
Musselman.
stat, John.
He's been great as a coach.
John,
and
are you watching, by the way? You were watching last night. We love you, John.
See in the comments.
John, we love you. We like making fun of you because it's good for content.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you doing that. But Eric Musselman in general, give him his flowers, give him his due. He's been a great show. I find it a little disingenuous that the NCAA is willing to, I'm going to bring her up again, market Lady Jean and not market Mariah Musselman. Mariah Musselman is there. She was once the star of the same tournament as Sister Meme. And yet we've got no coverage there. So I will say this, the Must Bus, we're all aboard, and let's give them their due as well.
Remember when we were at the Ringer and we had our buddy Zach Schwartz who was doing social media for us? We should ask Must if how we would feel about this. when Nevada was losing, did they make the Sweet 16? They obviously did.
Yeah.
John pointed out. When they were losing to the Sweet 16, we had
Sister
Zach.
Jean.
Because Zach's a Muss guy. He loves Muss. He knows Musselman, and so he thought it wasn't that big a deal. We had Zach Photoshop Mariah Musselman's head onto Sean Miller's sweating body, and then we were going to tweet out a live look of Mariah Musselman. And someone at the Ringer found out what we were about to do, and they lost their mind. They're like, "Don't do that." I was like, "That's a pretty good." That's a pretty
if you don't
funny
know
tweet.
the live look, it's Sean Miller just completely sweating because he's obviously nervous about.
And
the
they were like,
loss
"We
and
can't dunk on like a how old was she at the time? Like
I don't
10-year-old?"
know.
And
Yeah, 10-year-old.
I was like, content's content,
What
baby.
do you
That's
mean?
content.
She's getting memed. Sister meme's getting memed. It's
be
all
a
fair
meme.
game. If you want to be a meme, you got to play the game. We know that. We see that.
All right, let's wrap it up with previews of tomorrow.
Yep.
We're looking at the schedule here for tomorrow.
Yep.
What sticks out to you? You see the bottom half of the East. We're looking at the bottom half of the left. Like you think this is turning into Muck Madness? This is either Muck Madness or a Mickey Mouse tournament. You go back and forth on what you want to call it.
Or it could just be a Mickey tournament, which is Mick Cronin, which gets me to my point about tomorrow.
Please don't root for UCLA. Every team you guys root for is choked. It's very true. We could do it this way. Let's look at the left side of the bracket tomorrow.
Yep.
What we did with Texas. We cursed Texas because we said what could be the worst possible thing that could happen tonight.
Yeah.
With Texas losing. Sure enough, they lose. What is the worst possible thing that could happen for us tomorrow? What's the worst thing that could happen for the show? Where we're like, are you kidding me? Mickey Mouse. So we just start tweeting out Mickey Mouse gifts.
I mean, you know what it is. It's Oklahoma beating Gonzaga.
Yeah, I would be devastated.
I mean, that is the end of the show. In fact, we leave if that happens.
I think I delete my account.
actually strike. Or riot, whatever the best term is. I'm out. I'm going to wherever Mickey Mouse is.
I think
the door.
I think that, and then also Michigan. Michigan's going to beat LSU. We know that. I think that's pretty clear. If you've watched both of these teams, you know that Michigan's much better. And there's literally nothing that could go wrong for Michigan tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if they blow LSU out, like if Michigan wins by if Michigan wins by 40 and Gonzaga loses, that's going to be a tough thing. Because Michigan fans hate us.
Yeah, they do.
Really hate us.
And they also love the idea of them being here and the Big Ten being here. So the idea of the Big Ten losing every single game and Michigan going on.
I know Michigan fan talking smack.
That's actually what's going to happen. You're right.
Dude, one of the Michigan guys was like, Ohio State, a bunch of frauds to me today.
Honestly,
and I said,
my pick for tomorrow, my best bet for tomorrow is Michigan. In fact, I think I'm pulling for Michigan tomorrow, just to prove that that's how much of a Mickey Mouse tournament we have.
Some guy today tweets at me and he's like, Ohio State is a bunch, because I said like the Big Ten sucks. That was the narrative of the day for a lot of people before
R.I.P.
Roberts made it fun and whatever. So I said something about how the Big Ten sucks, and the guy said only the fraud Ohio State. Like that's the only, you're just saying that because Ohio State's a fraud. And I was like, buddy, Ohio State beat Michigan a week ago. So if we're frauds, and I don't disagree, there's no part of me that's like, no, hang on, we're not frauds. I'm just saying, if I'm a Michigan fan and I look at what happened to Illinois, who beat the snot out of you in your home court not too long ago, I look at what happened. I mean, I'm not saying like pretend like you've lost to LSU, but I would be like a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean,
I would be slightly nervous that we lost to Ohio. Like I don't know.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and say, look, based on what I know should happen. And then I'm going to do my opposite theory. Here's how it's going to go tomorrow. Oregon's going to win the first game.
Yep.
Gonzaga's going to barely squeak by in the second game. ACU, Abilene Christian's going to upset UCLA. Ohio's going to lose to Creighton. LSU's going to lose to Michigan by a lot. Colorado's going to beat Florida State by a lot.
I actually wouldn't mind that. I like
Maryland is going to muck it up with Alabama, but Alabama's going to squeak by and win the game. And then USC, Kansas is going to happen. I'm going to be all in on Evan Mobley, and Kansas is going to beat them by 20 points. Mm-hmm. That's what I see tomorrow. And that is the opposite theory.
Creighton would be devastating.
So
if Creighton beats Ohio,
let's hope to God that none of that happens, because then I actually do win. But if everything I just said happens, it's going to be a long
devastation for me.
Chris went to USC. As I said, they're going to get blown up by 20. He just collapsed. He's like, "What is going on here? Please stop."
Devastation for me looks like this. Oklahoma blows out Gonzaga. It says like all the times I've said Gonzaga has a cakewalk to the Final Four.
Oklahoma, Austin Reeves beating Gonzaga in some very scrappy muck it up. That could be a muck it up game, honestly. Oklahoma.
It's not. Gonzaga's going to win by a lot. Oklahoma is. It's not. It's not.
You don't.
It's just not. I have to go down with the ship. It's not.
Well,
Gonzaga is.
Get ready to cut this clip up.
If Gonzaga goes out of this tournament before Houston does, I think I have to be done. I think that's like.
I just said that. We're leaving. Yeah,
I really think that's it. Also, devastation would be Creighton just like dominating Ohio and making Ohio look stupid.
Jason Preston was on our show.
Yeah, so I think that's going to happen. As I said, Michigan. I keep saying it. I don't have anything against Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Michigan fans think I do.
Yeah. They have to win that game.
Yeah. So, but Michigan winning, I can already envision a world where Michigan fans just really suck it.
Yep.
I'm just seeing
Yep.
suck it tweeted to me a million times. Abilene Christian, I got nothing against them. Abilene Christian, UCLA, you guys figure it out. Maryland, Alabama, I don't care. Colorado, Florida State, I like you both. I'm good with all those. I think that's what devastation looks like for me.
Yeah.
Oklahoma wins, Creighton wins. Michigan blows out LSU. I already know they're going to beat LSU, as I said.
Blows them out. That's
we
what
all
I see.
we all already
Yeah.
know. There's nothing like Michigan. There's nowhere. If you play that game 100 times, Michigan's winning 100 times. There's
Yeah.
no chance for
Exactly.
LSU to win.
100%.
But if I don't want Michigan to blow them out. That's really all.
You remember American Vandal? And they say 100% when he's lying. That's how I feel right now. 100%.
All right, is that it? Do you have shout-outs you want to give? Any stray shout-outs before we get out of here?
I mean, I just want to shout out in general the idea of chaos, because I think,
Yeah.
Moses came into our show, he made his bracket, and he said it was a chaos tournament. He wasn't exactly right about this specific chaos, but he was right about the ideology of chaos. And I want to say, as much as we like to joke around and, we're making fun of our picks and making fun of our own.
We don't like it.
We don't like it.
I don't
but
like it.
no one likes chaos. You know what I mean? I guess
Yeah.
some people, like the Joker, likes chaos. But everyone else
Here we
lives
go.
in this world of just trying to figure it out. And,
Chaos.
shout out to Chaos. You did it. You
Chaos.
got us. You won.
Chaos,
You
thy
won.
name is Cameron Krutwig.
Seriously.
Yes. I want to shout out Kevin Harlan, who called the last game tonight. He's awesome, and I don't know. We haven't really talked a lot about the announcing that on the tournament. It's good to have the familiar voices back.
I miss Gus.
And Kevin Harlan's one. Of course, we all do. We all do. But I want to shout out this guy on TNT. They're showing the
free.
TurboTax
And
free.
And free.
That's a great commercial.
And
free.
Look, we're not brought to you by
free.
TurboTax,
We're
but
not.
we appreciate good advertising.
We just like good ads.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
And
TurboTax. Maybe I'll do my taxes with you sometime.
you have a good ad. I will shout you out, and that one's a good one.
Yeah,
And free.
And free.
Free. Is that it?
That's it from me. I think that's all I got.
Could Belmont beat Oral Roberts? This is a great question,
It's a
Josh.
great-
We have to go to my dad. Dad, if you're watching, tweet this. Go. By the way, shout out to my father who has made his entire Twitter persona just Belmont.
No, I mean it wasn't a
fan.
bit for your
It was
dad.
not a bit.
It's actually like
He's changed his profile picture to the bracket. His background picture on Twitter is
Your
like
dad
Belmont
actually thinks
Pros.
Belmont is recruiting him. Like when they sent the pullover, he's like, "I am soft verbal," and now he's like not responding.
Look at
My
that. That's,
perfect
his, that's, his,
bracket.
that's his picture on Twitter now.
Gosh.
That's Belmont. I have to say, I have to believe they could beat Oral. That's a game.
That's a good game.
That's a great game.
I would like
I'm
to
watching
see
that.
that game, and then the winner plays Xavier, and then Xavier finally gets their chance to play. I think that's it. That's the final thing we have.
Xavier's like, if we could just get one more game, we could prove that we belong in this tournament.
Please
Someone
believe
play
us.
Please.
Please. This has been fun, though. Congratulations
This
to
is
everyone
fun.
that's moving on. I mean, yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. We're gonna be back tomorrow, as we've said every
Yes.
night. We're gonna be here. If the NCAA tournament's playing, we're here.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Shout out to Wally Zerbiak and your fashion. Shout out
Yes.
to all of you guys watching.
Shout out to Bill
To
Walton,
listeners.
the Pac-12.
Shout out to the Pac-12. See you guys tomorrow.